Today we're going to start chapter 3, causes of conflict, part 1. Now we will see that why churches or Christian organization or Christian church or group have problem. And we found out that pride is one of the big cause of conflict or problem. Pride is the biggest sin that Satan have, because they are the top angel. Satan is the top angel. He is just after God, mean that amongst all angels, he is number one. And when he is number one, he is prideful, think that he is the best. And this is also the sin that cause problem in churches today and all the time, because we think that we are better than everyone. We are the best. And when we think that way, we look down at other people. We don't believe that anyone can do as good as we can do. And we think that everyone is not good enough. So this is all the problem, big problem in church. If we can take this out, we can solve a lot of problem, pride. And some Bible verse remind us that don't let pride get into the picture. When we're serving God as a team, we need to be humble down. So what is the root of pride? The English pede, pride, or English prito. It just means something about over self-extreme. Something that we think that we are super good. We are the best. And it's about self-love. Well, normally it's nothing wrong to love yourself, but when you love yourself more than God or more than anything else, that becomes a problem. We need to love ourselves, yes, correct, but in the right way. But when we love ourselves more than God or more than anything else, and we think that we are better than everyone else, that is problem now. The Bible defines pride as exalted ourselves above all. And it becomes arrogant, conceit. And in psychological terms, it becomes egotism. It means that self-centered. It means that the whole universe go allow us. We are the center. Everything needs to come to us. So now it's a problem. And this is the main problem in a lot of problem in church or in our family or in our society today. It's all the root of all the problem. The Bible reminds us a lot. Don't let pride get into the picture, and don't let pride rule over your life. And because everything comes from God, all the success comes from God. Now, it's a good question to think. People say that when you succeed so much, you have problem, because pride will happen, prideful. But how about when you fail a lot? That problem too? Yes. It can cause problem too when you fail a lot. And when you succeed a lot, it's problem too. It's extreme. So we have to learn from both sides. When you succeed too much, be careful. Prideful will come. And when you fail too much, depression will come too. So it's a good balance of success and failure. So if you proud of yourself, not too much, it's okay. We need to be proud of ourselves sometimes, what we have done, what we work hard for, but don't let it out of control, because it's going to be a big problem. Well, when we're prideful, the main problem is we don't think that we can make mistake. And when problem happen, we always think that it's other people's problem. It's not our problem. And that can blind us from all the solution. When we think that we are the one who do all the work and people cause problem. So last week, I read an article by Elon Musk. Elon Musk is now is the most famous person, and he the richest man on earth now. Elon Musk, you might heard about him. He owns spaceship. He owns Tesla. The main owner of Tesla is Elon Musk. And I read his article. He said that one thing that makes him so successful is he always think that he's not the one who make the right decision. He always think that I can make mistake. And when people tell me something, I listen. I don't ignore people advice because I believe that people can make me better when I listen to them. I don't let my pride get into the way. Yes, he might be one of the smartest men on earth, and he is now #1 richest man on earth. But he's so humble. He said that I don't let pride get into the way. I listen to people, and I always believe that I might make mistake. Well, nobody can accept that if you are the richest man on earth, you're so successful. We cannot accept that we can make mistake, but he said that I can make mistake. That's why I listen to other people. I don't let pride get into the way. Well, that's his secret. If we can learn from him, he's not even an American. He comes from South Africa. And he can be so successful in America. He do something that nobody can think that we can do, like the car that run on electricity, or the big American car run on gas, and don't believe that we can do electricity, and he do it. And you see that we never think that any private person can make space cheap to go out of this world. He's the one who believed that, and he did. But we learn from him that he's not a proud person. He's not prideful. That's his main secret. He always he said that I can say sorry, and I listen to other people. When we are prideful, we don't listen to anyone. We just listen to ourselves, and we believe that we are the only one who right all the time. You can see a lot of examples of pride. Feel that appearance gives themselves more worth. Think that their beauty makes themselves superior to others from their figure physique, so that others will praise them. Spend excessive time on hair, clothing, weight, body shape, or anything about themselves. And another side of prideful is anorexia and bulimia. Anorexia means that you cannot eat, you don't want to eat, you want to get fat. Bulimia means this is a dot opposite. Anorexia and bulimia are two opposite things. Someone cannot eat, don't want to eat because they are afraid of to get fat. And another one is getting fat. So it means that extreme of eating or not eating, extreme of thinking about their body, their appearance. And by itself is okay, but when you go extreme, you go over, it can be problem. And the cause of all these things is pride. Pride will lead our life to extreme in many things, and it's not worth it. And some way to get out of prideful is, at first, you need to know that we have problem. A lot of people don't accept that we have problem. And don't take yourself too seriously. Be open mind, listen to other people. And this is some guideline to help us. When we listen to other people, accept it, that will help us. But when we stop listening to other people, when we don't accept recommendation, that problem now. Well, pride can be both emotional and can be conscious or unconscious. It can be so many things. So sometimes people don't know that they're prideful. Sometimes people know. Well, if you know and you don't want to change, that problem. But when you don't know, when you know it, maybe it's a lot better. Now, what the Bible talk about pride a lot. Like in Proverbs 11 say, when pride come, then come disgrace, but with humility come wisdom. So you see the opposite of prideful is humility. Mean that when you humble, you get out of that problem. But a lot of time we're not going to be humble until we have to. In English, we call humble yourself down or somebody humiliate you. It's different. When you humble yourself down, mean that you accept it, you intentionally. But when somebody humiliate you, mean that they force on you to make you feel shame, expose you. Either way, it put you down by yourself or somebody put you down. Now you have to choose. You have a choice. You're going to put yourself down, or you want someone to put you down by choice or by force. But nothing go up and won't go down. Everything that go up will come down. That's the saying. When you're prideful, you try to put yourself up, but not long. It will come down. Why we talk a lot about pride? Because it's one of the main problems in church and in Christian society and in your family and everywhere too, because of pride. Now they say that even worse than pride is arrogant. They say that if pride is the baby, arrogant is the grown up. Mean that it not stop there. It get worse. It get worse when you let it stand there and growing. Pride will turn into arrogance. Mean that pride will start that you proud of yourself, you don't want to listen to other people. When arrogant means that you ignore everyone, you ignore all problems, you don't listen now, you don't care. And that's going to be even worse. When you don't care, you don't listen, you don't want to get involved, and you stop anyone to try to solve the problem. Now, this is a big, big problem. When you have pride, it means that you don't get involved, you don't listen. That's the beginning of the problem. When arrogance comes, mean that you stop everyone who try to solve the problem. You fight everyone who try to solve the problem. You're blocking any solution now. And that is even worse. And this will be a big problem because you look down on everyone. You think that you're born the best. You are better than everyone. Nobody can be as good as you are. So that become big problem. And it's not just personal now, it becomes the whole group can feel the same thing. And you might say this is contagious or this is a disease now. It's not stopped at one person, but it become a disease. It spread everywhere to the whole group. And it can cause even more problem to solve. Now, when it become arrogant, means that you ignore everyone, you ignore everything, and you stop everyone from doing good things. You fight every group who try to solve the problem. Now, this is a big problem. If you let your pride run too long. Now, you see that some advice, you say that, well, if you're honest, that can help in some way. When we talk about honesty, it means that you accept to listen to the truth. And the truth always can be hurt and can be painful. But it's the beginning of the healing process. Why people don't want to accept the truth? Why people try to bury the fact? Because it's too painful. But this is the beginning of healing, of problem solving. So the fact, the truth is the first step. But a lot of people cannot accept the fact, the truth. And now I use another word, narcissist. It means that the person who very deep in themselves, after pride for a long time, it becomes self-love. Narcissist come from the Greek story about a god that was cursed. Make himself love himself only. So narcissist will keep looking at the mirror about himself and proud of their beauty all day and do nothing. Narcissist is that way. The person who falling in love with themselves. I should use that word. Falling in love with themselves, that narcissist. So anything about themselves is the best. They don't love anyone. They don't care about anything. They just love themselves with all the time. Now, some side. These people will need admiration all the time. Grandeur, inability to put oneself in another shoe, mean that they live in imagination now. They think that they're in the world of themselves. Everyone just live for them. Everyone just need them. And you can get that some politician is narcissist. They believe that they are the savior. They are the best. Everyone need them. Nobody can live without them. This is narcissist. And you see that this is beyond prideful now. You might see some people like that in your life, in your church, among your people. This is a big problem. And all these people will exaggerate about their own ability, their own riches, and everything about themselves, because they look at themselves as above all. Or by our general term, you might say that narcissists think that they are God. They are God themselves. This is big problem, big problem. And you don't believe that there's so many narcissists in this world. You can tell that all the dictators in this world are narcissists. Why they become dictators? Because they think that they are the best person to rule the country, to rule the clan. Nobody better than them. And everyone needs them. They are the savior of the people. This is narcissism. And dictator is the same, different words that he used. Dictator is narcissist. It's the same person. Well, we deal with all these things, and there's some side, some quality telling us that these people living in illusion. They think that they are the best person. They are the most interesting man or woman in the world. Their story are exaggerated, mean that they sometimes they exaggerate the story until they believe in itself that this is true. It might start up as a story, but later on they themselves believe it. And they lie to everyone until they themselves believe in their own lie. And whenever problem happen, they always think that they are the victim. People try to hurt them. People jealous of them. They never thought that they themselves is the problem. And you see that all these people don't have friends. They don't love anyone. It's a one-sided relationship, mean that everyone need to listen to them. Everyone need to love them, but they don't love anyone. They don't care for anyone because they believe that they are the best. Everyone needs them. So this is super big problem. Okay, this is a general idea that what we talk about price. I will come to you and let you get question and reflection before we finish the second part later on. Now, the big problem that we present today in church is prideful. And as I say, that pride just the beginning, but when you let it grow, it become arrogant, and later on become narcissist. Mean that it's getting worse. How we stop it? How we change that? How we help that people amongst us who is narcissist or arrogant? You will always have these people amongst you in your church, in your society. How to work with them? How to deal with them? That's a good question. And even when sometimes we are that person too. Maybe sometime in your life you become that person, but how to get out of that situation? You ever heard the words they call spoiled rotten person? Anyone ever tell you that you are the rotten spoil or spoiled rotten person? Well, if you are a grandparent, normally you rotten spoil your grandchildren. Why? Why we try to spoil our grandchildren? I heard some parents don't want their parent to help raise up their kid because they know they're going to spoil their children. A lot of time, grandparents spoil grandchildren because of guilt. When they're young, they work so much, they don't have time for their own children. So now they're old, they have time, they have money, they want to pay back to their grandchildren. They give time, they give money, they do everything for their grandchildren to pay back what they don't give to their own children. So that they say because of guilt. Well, that's part of it. But another good part is grandparents have a lot of experience in life now. They know what's supposed to do, and they know what is best. Not just money, not just success, but family and relationship. So it's not all about lot and spoil, but I think priority change. Now you know what is important. Not money, not success, not career, but relationship and family, more important. So now there's another way to come along. In church, in family, we have problem all the time, and it's not always bad. When problem happen because people have different idea and thinking, it's just how we got to work through that differences in the right way, good way, or wrong way, bad way. Problem not necessarily to break the church all the time, but a lot of time we can help the church to get stronger or better. You know that one of the textbook talk about every church needs some conflict to make it strong, to make it grow. And a lot of beliefs say that the church that never have conflict is not normal. The church that never have conflict have problem. Why? Because nobody ever think of anything. Nobody never care of anything. That's why no problem. When you care, when you want the church to grow, then we have conflict. Okay, so far what you have learned from the note, how you think?
Can I have a quick question regarding about pride?
Yes.
Yeah, we have been talking a lot about pride, but I want to know a little more about humble.
Yes.
And how to overcome something like when we think or when I think that I am not good enough to do one thing or to do something and I just don't want to do it because I'm afraid that I may not doing good or I may make mistake or thing like that and I just don't do it. And how to overcome thing like that.
Yeah, that's another extreme though. When you feel that you're not good enough or you're not qualified, it can come if you look on from psychological perspective. They say that the person who grew up don't have self-confidence or never have self-worth because the way your parents raise you up. In a lot of Asian culture, they put down their children down because of Confucius teaching that don't praise your children, don't honor your own children because you're going to spoil them. So from Confucian teaching in Chinese and in Eastern culture, they always put down their own family, their own children. For example, if someone say your son is so smart, they say no, he's so dumb, he's not good. Someone say your wife so good, so beautiful, they will say, oh, that old lady is worth for nothing. Why they say that way? Well, from Confucius teaching, don't honor your own family, don't put up your own children, you're going to spoil them. So they use the opposite way to put them down. But we know that by putting down your own family, your own children, since they're young, you spoil their own self-confidence. They lost their own self-confidence. So they're going up thinking that they are not good enough. They are good for nothing.
อาจารย์
Yes.
อันน้อยจะได้อ้อมไปก่อนและไปส่งรูปไปกัน
Okay. Okay, Bunta, see you next week. Okay. So I don't know, Kamsai, that your situation come up that way. Your parents raise you up by never encourage you and use the Asian way to put you down all the time that you're going up in that situation.
Yeah, I'm not blaming them for anything, but I think because that's a part of the culture, and I think that a lot of Asian, when our children do really best in school to get a B, and we say why not get an A, you know, and sometimes it's like we discourage them, but in the Asian way, we think that way we said is to encourage them to challenge them to be better, but you know, in different way. And that also drive us to the way we are right now. For example, you know, like I just said earlier, sometimes, you know, I want to step up to do things, but I just think that maybe I'm not good enough to do that kind of thing, and just don't do it, you know. And that is, I have a lacking of self-confidence, just like you said, and how to something like that.
In Asian culture, it turned out that some kid will work harder to be successful, but the psychological wound is already there. Even the one who's successful still have a big wound inside. So we found out that that is not the best way to raise up kids or the best way to help people. Now you come to America. America, another extreme. America believe in that you need to praise the kid for whatever reason. For example, the parent or the teacher will say, or the kid that, oh, you are the best, you are the best. But in fact, they lie to the kid. Some kid is not the best. They do a lot of bad job. But why? They tell the teacher and the parent to tell every kid that you are the best, you are the best. They lie. And that also cause problem. Because a lot of American kids growing up think that they are the best, but in fact they are not. And they become narcissists. And they look down on everyone. And they have problem too. Now, the blind way, according to the Bible, is telling the children the truth, the fact. Some kids only do good, to encourage them that they do good, but they can do better. The right way. But the kids who are not very good, tell them that you need to work harder. You don't put them down. In the same time, you don't lie to them. They are not good. Don't tell them that they are the best, but tell them that you can do better. So that's the right way, according to the Bible. Don't lie to them and don't put them down, because that is not good too. The Asian is extreme on one side. The European is extreme on another side. But both sides are not correct. The right way, according to the Bible, we tell them the truth, but help them to be better by loving way, according to what God tried to teach us. Now, we already damaged, either way, the Asian way or the American way, we damaged the children. So how we come back to fix ourselves? God have the way. Come back to God. We can start right with God, that God make us and God can make us better. We can depend on God. And the Bible have a lot of way to help us, that we can do whatever we can do, and God can strengthen us better, make us better. So God wants us to do whatever we can do to start with. We don't need to be the best, but God wants the faithful one. Mean that you do whatever you can do, the best you can, and that whatever God wants us. God never demand the best, but God demand the faithful one. So by the point from biblical standard is we can do whatever gift God giving us. Kong Sai, you leaving? Oh, your friend.
Yeah, somebody leaving, so I'll say bye to them.
Okay, you're at church now?
Yes, I'm at church.
Oh, okay. So Kam Sai, I don't know, I answer your question.
Yes, you do. You
Okay.
answer my question. Just do whatever we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
God want the faithful one.
I mean, yeah.
Because
you.
all success comes from God and not from us.
Okay.
Okay, what's else that your reflection for the chapter? So Kam Sai, you live in Portland?
So, yes, I live in Portland.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Nathan, you used to live in Portland too.
Yes, Ajahn, yes.
Okay. Well, I like Portland though, except that it rained too much.
Portland is really nice in the summer, but winter is tough.
Yeah, I went there at the end of October and November. It rained all the time. It never stopped.
Yeah, if you like picking mushroom, you should come over here so you can pick during the summer.
Yeah, summer is beautiful. I went there summer last year too. It's beautiful. Yeah, just good time. So now how you think about prideful that many authors think that it's the main problem in our church today. So now we have to think how we're going to help our people to humble down. Yes, Kat?
Ajahn, for the pride, for example, the one we just passed about the what we call narcissism.
Yes.
So we can point to the Old Testament for the king's descendant. So we can point it out who is the one is the that part of. Can we describe which king, which from the kings David go all the way? Which one is the one is narcissist?
Well, it's difficult to say because the Bible did not tell us much about each king. The Bible spent a lot of time talk about Saul.
Saul.
And then David, and then Solomon. Now, when you look at Saul, he starts with a humble man, very humble. You know that when God called him, he hiding. He don't want to do anything. He's so humble. But why later on he changed? You might see that in the end of his life, he become narcissist.
Yeah.
He changed a lot in that 30 years. Why? Somebody say because people allow him. People that he allow him, change him. Well, you can blame people allow you as much, but we still come back to yourself. God gave Saul a lot of success, and God blessed him so much. But the people allow him might change his mind to think that he's so good. He's the best. He's the first king. And a lot of things change him. And you see that he starts feeling jealousy on David and everyone. Because he feels threatened because he always number one. Now somebody else get into the picture. So I think that we see that God tried to help Saul, but I don't think he want to help himself or he want to change. It's getting worse. And you might say that at the end he is narcissist.
So that part of is the Satan or that's himself?
Oh, Satan tried to destroy us all the time, but we need to fight back. When we allow Satan to use our lives, now we are destroyed. You see, Satan tried to destroy us all the time, come to tempt us all the time.
Ajahn, I think
Yes.
it's, like I said, a pride that is Satan. He is the father of pride from the beginning, right? Because of pride that he thinks that he can become God, can take over. And the same thing that he brought the pride to tempt Eve, that, did really God tell you not to eat from this tree, and he will probably twist the word a little bit. And that makes the woman think that, oh yeah, my eye can be open, I can be like God, and things like that. Like we see a lot of like King Saul also like pride, fame, and also Solomon fell because of pride, fame, and the riches, that he have.
Yeah.
Make him didn't follow God at the end.
Yeah, at times I mentioned that in Asian culture, we try to put our kid down early on so they don't have prideful. But another opposite is we so down and we don't have self-confidence. We don't believe that we can do anything. And that another extreme too. But how can we balance that to have a normal life?
Well, the balance that I think we need to speak the truth. If they do good, we praise them. If they do bad, we say, we criticize them. Just to teach them that this is wrong, this is right,
But
And
at the same time, I don't think that we should put down anyone, even they fail. We should give them hope that they can do better.
yeah,
To put down people, I don't think it's helpful. Even they make mistake, even they fail. Especially for little kids. I think that they're in the time of learning.
it's not just a little kid, Ajahn, even adult too.
Yeah.
Sometimes adult can make a lot of mistake and fail a lot, and then a lot of people try to criticize, try to put them down, make it worse for them, can't get up. We learn how to balance that is by hey, you can fall down, but you can get up and walk again.
Yeah, especially in church, a family of God, I think we should not put anyone down. We should not criticize each other even we make mistake, because we all can fail and we all need another chance.
Right.
So I think we need to change a lot of things we deal with each other. It should be with love. And you know that we cannot rely on our old culture because both extreme, how to deal with mistake. The Bible gives us the right way, the way of God.
Mhm.
In fact, by saying the truth, but with love, in the same time with love. Now, how to deal with narcissists among us, or the people who are very deep in thinking of themselves the best.
Yeah, how do you know without a John? We want to know.
I just say it's not easy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
people, a person that don't want to listen to nobody, only themselves.
Well, besides pray a lot, I think we still need to do something.
Yeah.
You know that there is always a perfect timing for everything. Sometimes we need to wait, and God will open the time, the way to help other people. And when time comes, it might be they will listen.
Mm.
When time not coming, sometimes you cannot do much to help them.
Right. That's our hope. That's our hope is, like when people, it's really hard to change their personality, their thinking, their actions. So always be praying that, someday God will soften their heart.
Yeah, I have seen some people like that, but time will come when they in a very bad situation. And God opened the way that we show them love and care, and that can do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When they hurt so much, but we still love them, we still care for them, and that will change them a lot. You know that in this world, when some people like that fell down or fell, people will come and try to put them away and never give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But at the family of God, we have to show them a different way of love. Time will come. I have seen that all the time. Okay, let's go back to the lesson to see that we still have something to cover.
John, before we go down, I have a
Yes.
last quick question regarding to pride. We do have pride, like spiritual pride within the church. I'm not
Yes.
saying which church, but within in general. We do have wealth, we do have education, pride, and many times our pastor were the one that sometimes don't even have the high school diploma or thing like that, and it is really hard for the pastor to teach people who already gone through school and have a high education, and people have that kind of pride and also spiritual pride. People think that they are more Christian than the other, or they have more power from God than the others. So how do we overcome things like that? How do we address things like that within the church?
Yeah, I have seen all those situations. But you know that as a pastor, I felt that most pastors have a special call or authority from God. Even everyone will feel that. They need to feel that the pastor have special authority from God. It's like the position that God anointed. So when God anointed someone to be his servant, he above all those people because the position that God gave him, the authority God gave him. So you see, people need to respect him not because of him, but the authority of God in him. It's like I always ask, you ever seen an old man, a father, bow down to a little boy? You have seen that?
Yes, Ajahn.
Yes.
I think it's a monk.
Yes, a monk.
Yeah.
The father, the old man, bowed down to the little boy who become a monk. Not because of the little boy, but because of position, authority. He represents the monkhood. So the pastor, if ordained by God, chosen by God, have that authority. Everyone need to respect that, accept that. If they don't accept, don't respect that, mean that they look down on God. So we need to teach the people that the pastor who ordained by God, appointed by God, chosen by God, come with authority from God that everyone needs to respect. Without respect, he cannot do his work.
I think you're right, John. Some pastors don't have education. Like for me, I don't have education in Laos. When I learned Laos kindergarten, kindergarten, I failed my first class to move up. When the second year I moved up, and I didn't get to study and that's all my education is just little, but like I said, sometimes people might look at you don't have education, you don't have experience, on, communication or stuff. But some people they learn and they have a high education, they might look down on you.
So my point is, to help the pastor, every church needs to make it official, to appoint, to select the pastor, ordain him, and let everyone know that God have chosen him, give him the position, the authority. The church needs to do that for the pastor, to make it official. So it's not lightly, this is serious thing. So I know that a lot of churches ignore that. They did not appoint the pastor officially, never give him authority, never lay hand on him to ordain him. So when the church ignore that, the people don't see the point. So I think that we need to do that officially and make it to people to see that, like Aaron before ordination, he's just a simple man. When he got ordination, or even Saul, you know that David had a chance to kill Saul many times and become king. David never touched Saul. Why? The reason that David gave, God anointed Saul. Nobody can touch him. Only God can dispose Saul. David never touched Saul until God's timing. So we learn the lesson that David see in Saul. Even he fell, he still represents God. God still ordained him. God still selects Saul. Nobody can touch him without punishment. You remember a guy who come to tell David that I killed Saul. In fact, he lied, but David killed him. He said that you judge yourself by saying that I killed the one that God anointed. So your price is death. So we need to let the people see that the one that God selected, God anointed, God put there, represent God. He comes with authority from God that people need to respect. It's God who using him. So I think that might be my answer to you, Kamsai. Your pastor need all that.
Yeah, that answer for the part of education and other things. But how about spiritual pride, like among the church member?
Yeah, that's a difficult part though. We can start with praying for them that God will help them humble down. And they surprised to pay that sometimes God will show them if they want to serve, them will be part of the church, they need to humble down. But I know there's timing for everything. But we still start by praying for them a lot, seriously praying that the church can be humbled down to work together.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Kamsai.
Uh,
My name's Kongsai. Kongsai, Kamsai, we kind of rhyme the same, okay?
Yeah. Sometimes Pastor call your name, I always think that they call me or something.
Yeah. So we similar. So yeah. So that's good. Nice to meet you from Hmong, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
but Kamsai sound very loud name.
Yeah. Kamsai. Yeah, Kamsai.
Yeah, I got Lao name because my dad, he has a Lao friend in Laos and just named me after his oldest son. So
Oh, okay.
อาจารย์ I'm sorry I just want to add a little bit of my opinion in terms of how we deal with the pride you know among the church. You know, there's one thing though I know is sometimes it's difficult to deal with them because they just feel like, oh, they know a lot, they've been through a lot, and they're older, so they have more experience or they have more degree or more money or whatever reason. One thing that we can really help them is, like Ajahn says, to pray, but also the other way is that to have them go through kind of experience, so they learn that way. Like when we teach the kid example, we know if the teach gonna touch something or fire, it's gonna burn or it's gonna hurt them. Even though sometimes we tell the prideful people, yes, this is not the right way to do it, but sometimes we have to let them do it because they're not really want to listen. So that's how they can learn it themselves, through the experience of hurting or of failure. So that way they know that, okay, what this person telling me, I should have listened in the beginning, but we're not going to argue with them or we're not going to stop them because we know, even though we already know what the result or the consequences will be, we still let them go through it. So that's how they learn it that way. So, and then the second thing is that, I know sometimes we feel like, oh, okay, I'm the pastor, or but I don't have much of the education, and we try to help the church member who has a high education but very prideful. The thing, the way that we can teach them is we can literally try to go back to the Bible and quote the God words, Bible to them. This is what the Bible said, but we have to really leave it to them whether they're going to listen or not. Not try to argue with them, but just use the Bible as a foundation to help them or tell them what the God said. And that, I think that might be the way that we can help each other in the church, especially the people who prideful, because of pride. Remember, pride is the root cause of the sin. Every sin that we having is come from pride. And in the Bible, King Saul or David or Solomon, they all have pride. After you being successful, even though King Saul at the beginning, he's very humble, but then later pride, it got into his life because of this, the sin that we have. We have to be careful when you get a lot of success and you get a lot of possession. It makes you feel like, oh, you're doing well, you're doing good, and that's what causing us a problem. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the explanation.
Yeah, you see, we all can fall into that situation because Satan tried to lure us away from God all the time. And you see that if we'll never fail, they say that without Satan, but in fact, we all have a quality to fail.
Mhm.
We just have to be careful all the time and depend on God and know that all success comes from God. It's not us. We are nothing. Only God can do everything. And another reason that we read this chapter is so we can understand other people. They went through all the temptation too. And sometimes they fail, but they need another chance too. So we need to live with them and try to help them, understand them too. So we can help them by understanding them and loving them.
Sometimes, Ajahn, we have some, like young leaders to be so prideful and always criticism of others in the church. So I try to, not to, like to make them, you can learn how to accept each other the way they are. Leave it up to God. Pray, that someday the God will convict their heart, that they will learn so they can grow. Thank you, Chan, for doing, all those things that you explained earlier. You have everybody have pride. Like I said, pride is the root cause of the failure of men and the failure of Satan, right? So that's it's seed, from Adam all the way to us right now. So that we learn that we have Jesus who can help us and who can give us strength, or the Holy Spirit will can also convict us that we have to humble ourselves, watch out for pride. And a lot of people, because they get so like David, he become a king. He think a king can do anything, right? When he saw somebody's wife, he want to take and just go ahead and take it, and because he's a king. So sometimes being a pastor, being a leader, also pride in that too. Like sometimes you think that, oh, I'm a pastor, I can do whatever I want, but you forgot, you have to humble yourself to God, and listen to God, and sometimes God can direct our way away from that.
Yeah, you see that I have been fighting with pride all my life too, since I was a young boy. Because I come from opposite from Kamsai, because I come from a situation that's so successful, so good, and prideful is always my problem. So it's not in after getting old. I'm still fighting with that all my life. So it stays with us, and we know that we need to depend on God all the time.
Mm.
Some of you will have opposite problem that you have been put down so much, but some of you will have put up too much all your life. So we always have to work on that.
I have a question, Ajahn.
Yes, Nathan.
So what do you think? One time I went to visit one church and saw the pastor. I know the pastor. So he was greeting people with his hair with a whole bunch of holes and with t-shirt on. I said, today Sunday, you're past in my mind. I was kind of saying myself, thinking myself that today Sunday, he's the pastor. He has t-shirt on with the pants with a whole bunch of holes. He's not like 25 years old, like with a new, with today's style. He's like 60, 65 years old pastor. I'm kind of like, is it the right way to do it? And maybe about 10 minutes before service, he will go and he went to his office and changed, put a tie and everything like. So I'm kind of like, is it the right way to do it? I think the pastor, he knows to humble himself. What do you think? Maybe he would have done it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the pastor where we not to say anything. You know, now when I was young, I can give advice or suggestion or idealize a way. Now I'm getting old. I dare not to put judgment right away because I don't know everything.
Mhm.
I can make mistake again. No, you know, sometimes when I say, oh, it's not right for the pastor to do that, but sometimes we don't know everything. Why?
To me, I am guessing. I think he tried to humble himself. I think he can do it, but without like, wearing pants and a whole bunch of holes. He can wear maybe jeans, don't dress up too much. I think it's okay. But I think what he did is to me, if you have like guesses, man, you're not paid your congregation so poor that you don't even you can't even afford to get a pair of pants, something like that,
Let me tell you a little story. Kong Sai, you want to say something?
Yes, I had an experience before. Somebody criticized the way I dress as a leader, So the member mentioned that, so I have to change myself, dress properly. I thought, I thinking like Nathan said, like try to humble yourself. Oh, you just the way you are, dress the way you are, and you can serve God, But people, members, pastors should be dressed nice. Pastors should be, dressed like I said, to me, it's I thinking clothes is me, just outside, I'm thinking like Nathan thinking, but people, they keep buying me the nice clothes now and make me look bad because the way I dress. Because I try to be humble, like you said, to be in the fit,
A little story that happened to one big American church. They have a new pastor, and that week the new pastor is supposed to come and preach, but they keep waiting.
Mhm.
The pastor never show up, but finally one guy just pop up, and he's the new pastor. The reason that he late because the greeter, the people who greet people kick him out of the church. He not dressed nicely. He looked like a homeless man. So people blocked him from getting inside the church.
Mm.
But he a new pastor.
So that means don't judge people by the way they dress, right? So in Christian, belief, how do we dress ourselves as a leader to be give honor to God?
Well, I think it's clean. You remember in the Old Testament, the priest stand in front of the temple to check everyone.
Right.
They don't need to be nice, but have to be clean.
Clean.
If not, the priest don't allow them to get into.
Like Nathan said, the pastor was dressed in the pants doesn't have a hole, everything, right? So try to humble himself. He said, he went too far, or?
I don't know, because if that church, if most people are simple people, that might be okay. But if the high class church, maybe they cannot take it.
Yeah.
You know that I did not tell you that some of my people told me that, Pastor, we want to see you put on white shirt, necktie every week. White shirt too.
Sometimes, Ajahn, I see you wear all the same your thing for many years too.
Because some people told me that they want to see me in a certain dress or certain thing. Sometimes I try to make them happy.
Oh.
And people always tell me I look the same. I say, yes, the same suit for 30 years.
Yes, same suit, yeah.
My weight never changed, so 30 years you can fit in.
Yeah, exactly, John. Every time the student look at you, say you look the same. You look the same, and you don't have a gray hair like a lot of people. But maybe, like I said, because you serve God, and you look the same. And haven't seen much change on you. So
How more like people like a Jehovah Witness and Mormon, they dress nice, you know.
Yeah, we all changing though, but sometimes God keep us that way for a long time.
mhm.
Anyway, we have learned today the topic that's so important though, that a lot of problems happen amongst us. But still, the whole purpose is not try to find a problem and get rid of them. The whole purpose is try to understand each other and help each other. Even we know that someone is the problem, we still not intend to kick them out and get rid of them, but try to help them.
Yes.
So you see, Jesus said we are the body, we are different, but we can work together at a church, body of Christ. So that's the whole purpose. So with love and understanding and give people a lot of chances, that's our goal. Okay, you have any more question or concern or comment for today?
I think this subject we learn a lot in this, and learn not to fight, not to criticize, but learn how to understand and accept that person the way they are. So we
Yes.
are not the ones supposed to be change them, but God is.
Yes, yes. We learn how to live with them.
Mhm.
That's the whole purpose.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Welcome. So in your small group, you're still going well?
Yes, we still, even we have 2 or 3, we still do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry about that, Konsai, because after school break and then I disappeared. So I'm so sorry because I so many gap to doing the personal thing like Zoom, this and church. Other
No
than
problem.
I love to join our small group.
Yeah, no problem. You can join anytime. Yes.
How long it take you for your meeting?
We have from 6:30 to 8:30. We usually be end at 8, but if our student come in at 6 o'clock, we start early. 6 o'clock.
I missed last Monday. Did you see that message? My message, Ajahn Kongsai?
Yes. Yeah, I know. I text you, but yeah, I just said you had a funeral, right? Yeah, people that pass away.
Not funeral. That the in the house.
for the
Like,
people, yeah, funeral house,
somebody
yeah.
passed away. You know.
The member, right? Yeah.
Like in-law, my in-law member.
Yeah, I know that. So yeah, we still continue. We still go over your note, Ajahn, and we have a lot of personal question help each other out. Thank you, Kev, for bringing that question. Like about that. And a lot of people will have the same question about that. Like Ajahn said about that question about Elijah, and people think that John the Baptist is Elijah. But if Jews accept, it ends right there, right, John?
Yeah.
Don't accept, and then we look at that's how we understand it.
Yeah.
We know there's no way that Jesus can be Elijah because Jesus is God,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So I will talk with you about the meeting. Okay. We talk about that later on.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, you're welcome. Also, if you need my help in anything, just let me know. All of you too.
Okay.
About homework, assignment, test, or anything too. Okay, if not, let's just pray so we can finish today. Loving God, we thank you that we can spend time together and we learn something. Help us that we can get closer to what you want us to be and to help you with love and care for each other in your church. I lift all students up before you, help them, provide for them, protect them until we come back again next week. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.